Coach Sheldon Harrison. There'll never be no comparison. You're live on the show. Sit back and have a listen. LDWMMAC. This is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, guys. So Scott Coker, he's done it again. Scott Coker signs the lovely Cat Zingano to a multi-fight deal. Now, the details of that deal, the actual dollars amount, it just wasn't disclosed. But, usually when these people say multi-fight, Cat probably, has between 4 to 6 fights with Bellator. Now, this is very good, and Cat seemed to be very, very happy with the deal. I'm pretty sure that they gave Cat a substantial amount of money to do so. Scott Coker been throwing a lot of money at these ex-UFC fighters, okay? I noticed that. And Scott Coker is like a damn, I don't know, man. He's like a damn lion waiting in the wings for, Dana White to chop these people up. And then, Scott Coker just jump on top of him, man, like a savage. That's what Scott Coker doing. He took up, he took Beck Rawlins, which I'm like, damn, what the hell would he want her? But, anyway, Scott Coker got her, and he jumped all over Chris Cyborg and gave Chris Cyborg the largest women's MMA contract in history. And then Cat Zingano. So, Cat was happy, and I'm pretty sure that, it was a very lucrative contract for Cat Zingano. Now, that's the good. The bad, I just think that fighting has passed Cat Zingano over, okay? And I know some people say, yeah, she's going to Bellator where the competition is not that great. Well, that's a lie. Okay, that's a lie. People will try to tell you that the Bellator competition, the Bellator featherweights, they're not that good. They're not good fighters. Okay. Well, then, compare them to, some of the featherweights that the UFC they've had. Compare them to Invicta featherweights. And the Bellator featherweights are the best in the world. Okay. They are. That's just what it is. Okay. How many Bellator featherweights you think Megan Anderson can go in there and actually beat? Like, legit beat them. Okay. Cindy Denoir dabbles over in Bellator. She couldn't beat Cindy. She ran from Cyborg, and she did legit. I give Megan Anderson credit on beating Cat Zingano. Okay, I worry about Cat Zingano taking hits to the head, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Cat's already come out herself. Okay, not me, Cat. She said, she suffered brain damage. Okay, she suffered some brain damage throughout her career, and I'm probably sure a lot of fighters they suffer brain damage, but Cat has come out and said it. Okay, and she suffered the first bit of her brain damage when she fought Amanda Nunes, okay? She suffered brain damage when she fought Nunes, and it's continued. Like, every time Cat Zingano gets hit in the head, I'm talking about hit, like, a substantial, significant strike, Cat Zingano is on easy street. Cat Zingano is doing the stinky leg. And I'm like, yo, man, what would have happened if Megan Anderson would have landed a head kick? Like, let's just be, like, realistic here. What would have happened if Megan Anderson would have landed a head kick against Cat Zingano? What? Do y'all think Cat Zingano, would be, saying, hey, let's run it back? No, because Cat probably would have got knocked the hell out. And folks, that's just what it is. Okay, I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. I'm keeping it 100. I think Cat Zingano is a good fighter. I just don't think that Cat's body wants to do what her mind wants her to do. And guys, it's got to get to a point where you start to think, okay, look, life after fighting. What is Cat, like 36? No, she's 37, 38 now? Like, life after fighting. And multi-fight deal, that normally means like 4 to 6 fights. And this is definitely Cat's retirement package. This is it, okay? Cat is doing some other things on the side. Cat also is doing some training, which I think Cat need to be training people. I think Cat Zingano need to be teaching people jiu-jitsu. Like, I think Cat need to be doing something like sharing her gifts instead of going in there and taking punishment. Because somebody gonna catch her. You got Olga Rubin, who heavy-handed. You got Janae Hollowporn Hardy, they're heavy-handed. And I'm not saying that they all beat Cat Zingano, but I'm saying that what if one of these people that can crack managed to catch Cat Zingano? Okay, you got Arlene Blenko, heavy-handed as hell. What do you think's gonna happen? Literally, y'all. Do you think Cat gonna be able to stand up to that kind of punishment? No. You're gonna see Cat Zingano backing up against the cage and covering up. That's what's gonna happen, y'all. And I don't want to sound like this because I'm a big fan of Cat Zingano. But see, when people say, oh, well, Cat still got it, Cat still got it. Yeah, that's because your ass not in the octagon taking the shots. It's not you. And I tell you something, if you've never had your nose broken, your ribs fractured, if you've never gotten kicked in the liver, okay, if you've never even been buzzed, hell, if you've never even laced up a pair of gloves, then what do you know about taking punishment? What do you know? And I can tell you, I'm sitting here because I've been in there before. I've gotten kicked in the liver. I've gotten a fractured rib. Okay, I've gotten my nose broken. Okay, I've dislocated fingers. Okay, I've done that. See, this is the kind of stuff that people don't want to hear about when it comes to fighting. I've twisted my ankle. Okay, I've done that. I fractured a toe. Folks, this is what happens in the sport of fighting. Boxing, MMA, these kind of things happen. And the older you get, the more susceptible you are to these things happening to you. I don't think Cat should be fighting, man. I think Cat's career is over. But not according to Scott Coker. Scott Coker scooping him up. And of course people will say, well, Cat will do okay over there in Bellator because Bellator don't have great flyweights. Bellator don't have great featherweights. And of course Cat is fighting as a featherweight because they don't have bantamweight at Bellator from what I see. Oh, but Bellator featherweights aren't that great. Well, that's stupid. People are stupid. I always look at people and I say, in women's MMA, it's different than the men. First of all, the women, they didn't really have all the divisions to start out with. So when you look at some people in women's MMA, like the Strike and Viking, they had to fight people, man. They had to fight bigger people. Like, you had her fighting people who walked around at damn 190 pounds that could get down to 145, but then they hydrate back up to 180. I'm talking about the striking people wonder why she lost so many fights. Well, I'm telling you, okay? You've had strawweights that are legit strawweights, and y'all remember in the inception of women's MMA, the strawweight division, it wasn't even a thought. So if you're some 115-pound fighter, okay, you had to go in there and fight against a bantamweight, and in some situations, hell, you had to fight against a featherweight. So the records and some of the records here at Bellator, it's a function of women's MMA. Okay, that's what it is. And some of these women's fighters, they have to take fights. You take what you're given. Even in today's thing, like you can't find a fight in your weight class. So what did a lot of these women in Bellator do? They took the fights that was given and offered. They took them. Even though they knew that, they were too small for the weight class, even though they knew, a lot of women, they would take the fights because they wanted to stay active, or, they wanted to try to get their name up the rankings. They wanted to get in the good graces of the promoter. Guys, women take fight. There are so many divisions with the men, and I can sit here and argue this all day. Okay? So Cat Zingano is going into Bellator. There are some legit featherweights in Bellator. I like Cat Zingano. I think she hella sexy. All of that. But when we're talking about the fight game, man, this ain't some make-believe story. This ain't some fantasy land, okay? So you people sitting behind the screen and you watching this stuff, yeah, you watching it. Yeah, well, go fight this person, go fight this person. Well, hell, fighting that person might not be good for their health. And, you even got the likes of Chris Cyborg at Bellator, who's still heavy-handed, who Cat Zingano been calling out for, damn near 3 years. And Cat Zingano, she might get her wish. But at what cost? At what cost? Is it worth it? She got a son at home. She got other family that care about her. Is this really worth it? Should Cat Zingano still keep up the fight? Me personally, I don't think so. I think Cat need to call it a day. I think she need to call it a day and give her gifts of MMA to everybody else. Okay, guys, tell me what you think. This is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you waiting on? Support the best women's MMA platform on YouTube.